Hi sports fans, this is the Dog H. Weber with another edition of Weber on Sports Express. Hope you're having a good one, and I hope you enjoyed your July 4th weekend. What a beautiful stretch of weather we're having. Hope it continues. This is not a shot at Syracuse University and their athletic program, but one thing that has really driven me crazy the last few years is how athletes across the college campuses from California to Maine are treated differently than you and me. For example, let's talk about Syracuse because they're close by, some 45 miles away. Let's talk about a few of their athletes that have been in trouble with the law and how they've disposed of the case. That's a legal term. Let's talk about Delon Carter last year. He sucker punches some kid on Marshall Street. All right? Damages above his eye. I saw the picture. It was horrific. You heard nothing. You got no comments from Marone, the coach. You got no comments from Daryl Gross, the AD. The president didn't speak of it. It sat in court for months. And then Marone announces, the coach, that Delon Carter will not be allowed to participate in the preseason activity before the regular season starts. Stay off campus, Delon. Tough move by Doug Marone. We used to think of that. I'm thinking he's going to be kept out of regular season games. First seasonal game that really, when it counts, who comes in after the first quarter? Delon Carter. It's tragic how these athletes are treated. Not like you and me, who'd be spending 4 weekends in jail. Then, of course, in 2011, let's talk about Ashton Brophy. He's the phenom player from Rush Henrietta up in Rochester. What does he do after the Blue Cross Arena when they lose in a basketball game for the sectionals? He's indecent exposure. He drops trowel in front of thousands of people at the Blue Cross Arena. Gets arrested. What happens to him? Nothing. They disposed the case a few days ago. $120 fine, 100 community hours. A slap on the wrist. Then, of course, the case is still pending. Fab Melo of the basketball team of Jim Boeheim. Allegedly, he threw his girlfriend against a wall 3 times like a basketball. We'll have to wait and see how that is disposed of. My point is, ladies and gentlemen, if you look at college athletes, and I'm only picking on Syracuse because they're nearby, but it happens everywhere. They're treated differently by judges and by the court system. It's ridiculous. Let's treat everybody equal, and let's give some of these kids that break the law some time in jail. Say it ain't so, Mo. Switch it to the Yankees. Do you think that you have any way of talking about odds when it comes to Mo Rivera, probably the greatest reliever in the history of the baseball game, would come in with a 2-1 lead in the bottom of the 9th against the Mutts, a.k.a. the Mets, this past weekend? And what are the odds of him giving up that lead? Pretty amazing. 1,000,000 to 1? Well, he gave up the tying run, and to make matters worse, he gave up the winning run in the 10th. Say it ain't so, Mo. World Cup soccer, it continues in Germany. USA winning their first 2 games against North Korea and Colombia. They will play Sweden on Wednesday, broadcast time, 2:45 on ESPN. Go USA. Well, this is a subject that I'd like to switch back to the world of golf. Talk about my nephew and my wife Mary's nephew. We're very proud of this young man. His name is Josh Dockstader. Josh was brought up in Geneva, New York. Then, of course, he pursued the game of golf. I can still remember him when he was 5 or 6 years old, hitting a golf ball 6 feet away. Heck, now he can shoot 68 easily. But he's a PGA member. He just got his accreditation recently. He is the director of golf operations at the Trilogy Golf Club, a private club in Phoenix, Arizona. Well, Josh is spotlighted this month in the magazine called Golf Business Magazine. So you can pull it up on golfbusinessmagazine.com and see him. Geneva boy doing well. The reason him and a few of the other PGA head pros are being spotlighted is they're trying to enhance the game of golf to attract more players. As you all know, golf is not a cheap sport. And as you all know, the economy is hurting people that want to play the game. Josh is coming up with some ideas to bring women and men to his club to participate. A lot cheaper fees just to get them on the course. Maybe a little lesson thrown in for nothing just to attract them. He's doing very well. Josh Dockstader, proud to say, me and my wife Mary, he's our nephew and we're so proud of him. So check him out in golfbusinessmagazine.com. Staying on the subject of golf, Bubba Watson, phenomenal player, got a weird swing, but you know what? get the ball in the hole. He does that very well. But he's got to learn to monitor his lips. He played in Paris last week in the European tour, and he hated it. He hated the food. He didn't like the roping. There was no ropes to direct him from one green to the next tee. He hated it. Too many video cameras on the tees. Too many phones going off. Too many people talking on their phones. He absolutely badmouthed the tournament. I'm reminded by my mother and some other people in my lifetime that once told me, Harold, when in Rome, do as the Romans do. Bubba might be better off if he remembered that. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it is time for me to announce the persons of the week. We're going to go to Cuba County, talk about the Bob Dean Scholarship. Bob was a legendary football coach in the 40s and 50s. And of course, he was Mr. Everything, and he was a proud man and a respected man. They have a scholarship in his honor, and I'm happy to report this morning that Andrew Sanders, a recent grad of Auburn this year, and a young lady named Jessica Van Giesen are the recipients. It exemplifies sportsmanship, athleticism, and academics above the norm. So, Bob Dean Scholarship winners, Andrew Sanders, Jessica Van Giesen, my persons of the week, recent graduates of Auburn High. Congratulations. Well, as I told you, me and Jimmy Senecope are really psyched because this show has attracted many sponsors that have come out to support it. And I want to spend a few minutes to talk about them this morning. I am so thrilled to have my good friend Rich Rickey, the president and owner of Wilson Press here in Seneca Falls. My friend Sunshine Peoples, who's right upstairs. Zuzu's, the legendary Zuzu's. Stop in and have some coffee and a pastry and tell her the dog sent you. And of course, I would be remiss if I didn't mention my good friend Dr. Drexler, who's not only my dentist, but he's a good friend of mine. If you need some dentistry help, check out Dr. Drexler. My silver sponsors go out to Phelps, New York. Wadhams Enterprises of Phelps, New York. My good friend Steve Wadhams is a supporter of the show. Thank you very much. Jimmer Stevers of Stevers Garage. I've been taking my cars to Stevers Garage for 50 years. If you got car issues, 568-8353. Talk to Jimmer or Richard. And of course, DA's Liquor. What can I say? Amy's mom and dad supported the Weber on Sports programs for years. Now Amy is supporting Weber on Sports Express. Thank you, Amy. For all of your cocktail needs, check her out. And of course, our gold sponsor, a friend of mine who's been a buddy of mine for probably 35 or 40 years, my gold sponsor, Mr. Bill Ryan, the president of the Cayuga Lake National Bank, with offices in Aurora and Union Springs. I have an account there. Many people do. Check them out for your banking needs. Bill Ryan, who's my gold sponsor. So ladies and gentlemen, we can't do this without sponsors, and I am so thrilled that 7 people have stepped forward to support this program. Thank you very much. You'll be hearing more about those people as we proceed. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you had a great 4th of July weekend. I hope you join me next weekend for another edition of Weber on Sports Express. Until then, that's a look at sports my way.